So I can start us off and let's talk about self-studying for the MCAT. So I think a lot of students tend to gravitate towards the self-studying aspect simply because number one, it doesn't involve paying for a prep course because let's be honest, prep courses are expensive. And for a lot of people, dropping $2,000 to $3,000 on a prep course simply might not be in their budget. But in terms of self-studying for the MCAT, what you're typically looking for when we talk about self-studying is you need to be someone that's actually able to follow a schedule that you set up for yourself. Because when we talk about studying for the MCAT, we're talking about months in advance here. So generally speaking, you start after your final exams, kind of in around the May-ish time frame, and most students are writing mid to late August or potentially early September, depending on which schools they're applying to. And in terms of self-studying for the MCAT, the biggest thing that you're going to need is to make sure you have an actual set of MCAT study books. And there's going to be different companies out there that tailor to different study methodologies. The ones that you see here, right? So the Exam Crackers one is personally one of the ones that I like if you do choose to go for the self-study route, simply because it is quite succinct. It's to the point. But keep in mind that these books are meant purely for review. So if you're looking at topics that you've never looked at before, so for example, if you didn't take physics in university, using a prep book to try and learn physics is not a good idea because they're just reviewing the topics and not necessarily teaching you the topics that you may not know. So if you're considering self-studying, the biggest thing, again, we'll repeat, is number one, have a good set of books. Number two, have a schedule and make sure you program review and practice in about a 50-50 ratio, because you need to practice the MCAT as much as you need to study the content that's on the MCAT itself. So if you're somebody that needs structure, in other words, if you're somebody that perhaps isn't as self-motivated and you need somebody to kind of kick your butt a little bit to get the reading and the studying done, then perhaps self-studying may not necessarily be the best idea, because this is not a test that you can cram for in 2 weeks. I've had students that have tried to do that, and every single time it has not turned out well.